So for this example, we have a movie director is shooting a scene for a movie that involves a stunt dummy dropping out of an airplane into a swimming pool. So the plane is 10 meters above the ground and it's traveling at a horizontal velocity of 22.5 meters per second in the positive x direction. So the director wants to know where in the plane's path should the dummy be dropped so that it'll land in the pool. So if we were to take a quick look at this, so here's our airplane. And the dummy is going to fall out of the airplane. So the plane is traveling forward at a positive 22.5 meters per second. So remember that the dummy is inside of the airplane, so the dummy and the airplane have the same initial velocity. So when the dummy falls out of the airplane, here's the dummy, it also is moving forward at 22.5 meters per second initially. So the dummy's going to take this path that ends up going out and down into the pool. This is a pool. All right, so we know that the dummy's not just going to fall straight down. The dummy's going to end up taking this path because it has an initial velocity in the x direction. So it's going to be going both forward and down at the same time. So we'll get rid of this downward arrow because it is not moving straight down. So in order to analyze the dummy's motion, let's fill in a few things that we know. So let's just draw the ground here so we know where it is. So we know that the dummy is 10 meters above the ground. So that's its change in vertical position. So delta y represents a change in vertical position. I want to know what is delta x? How far in a horizontal position will the dummy change during its flight path? So when it's going to be in the air falling for a time of delta t. So I've written down pretty much everything that I know. So my initial velocity is 22.5, so I'm just going to label that as v initial. My delta y is 10 meters, and my delta x is my unknown. So what I'm going to start with is my equation for delta y, since that's what I'm given. So I know delta y equals 1/2 g delta t squared. So delta y is going to be my 10 meters. Now technically it's negative 10 meters because it's fallen 10 meters, so its change in position is final minus initial, so 0 minus 10 meters in the air. So 1/2. Now g is technically also a negative 10 meters per second squared because the acceleration due to gravity is always downward. And we have that times delta t squared. So I get negative 10 equals 1/2 times 10 squared, or 10 meters per second squared times delta t squared. All right, so we get 10 divided by 5 is 2. So I get 2 equals delta t squared, and my square root of 2 is 1.41 seconds. So 1.41 seconds is my delta t. All right, so I needed to use my delta y information in order to find out how long was the dummy in the air. Now I can go ahead and use that information to find delta x. So delta x is just v initial times delta t. So the dummy keeps moving at a constant velocity in the x direction. So the only limiting factor about how far the dummy moves is how long it stays in the air. Eventually gravity pulls it to the ground. So my delta x here is going to be v initial, so 22.5 meters per second times 1.41 seconds. And we get 31.73 meters. So that means that they should place the dummy 31.73 meters, or they should drop it 31.73 meters prior to being over top of the pool if they want the dummy to take this parabolic path into the pool. Okay, so for the second part of this problem, correct? Yep. What would the final velocity of the dummy be as it struck the pool? So again, the dummy is going to fall in a path that looks kind of like this. So here's where it hits the ground, or in the pool actually. So we know that it's going to have a velocity in the x direction, so I'm going to call this Vx, but it's also going to have a velocity in the y direction. We talked about components, and we talked about this a lot with vectors as well. Now the velocity in the x direction always remains constant. So the dummy was moving at 22.5 meters per second, so it continues moving at that path, or at that speed in the x direction. My velocity in the y direction can be found using the equation g delta t. So velocity in the y direction is my 10 meters per second, or negative 10 meters per second, because we know it's going downward. And we said that the dummy was in the air for 1.41 seconds. Okay, so I end up that my velocity in the y direction is negative 14.1 meters per second. So there we go, negative 14.1 meters per second. All right, so now I found the x and y components. So imagine I added these together like vectors. I want to find out what is the overall velocity of the dummy as it's entering the water. So if you can imagine, it's kind of entering at this diagonal path. So if I were to draw that green arrow again over here, I would have my x component here, connecting them like vectors. So this is 22.5 meters per second. And then I could have my y component here, which I found to be negative 14.1 meters per second. So if I wanted to find out what is the value of my overall velocity, I'll just call it v final, is this green arrow, you can see that this forms a right triangle. So I had to find each component of the final velocity in order to find out what is the overall final velocity. So I'm going to erase some things out of the way here. All right, so from your math class, you probably know how to find the hypotenuse of a right triangle using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So if I just label these that, my x component could be a, my y component can be c, my final velocity, c there. So a for x, b for y, c for the hypotenuse. Doesn't really matter which one's a and b as long as c is our hypotenuse. So using the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I have 22.5 squared plus negative 14.1 squared equals c squared. So pay attention to the parentheses there, because remember that a negative number squared is always going to be a positive number. So if you choose to keep that negative number there when you're squaring it, you're going to need to make sure you put that in parentheses so it doesn't take the opposite of the number once you square it. It needs to actually square the negative number. So when I add these two together and then I take the square root, I find that, my final velocity is 26.55 meters per second. So that's my final velocity. So final velocity involves finding both the x component and the y component of the velocity and using Pythagorean theorem in order to find the overall final velocity as the dummy enters the water.